Right. Interesting. So this is your first lab on AI and machine learning. Okay. So we'll start with Python. Introduction to Python. So I will assume that you do not have much idea about Python. So I will start with this one. So we'll have two labs. The first two labs will be dedicated to this Python programming language. So you should learn by these two labs. Okay. You need to practice a lot by yourself and your home to learn Python. Okay. And go through the entire notebook. So for this lab, go to GitHub. Okay. In the GitHub, there is a repository on repo on machine learning, hands-on machine learning. If some of you have missed hands-on machine learning, go to week 1. There is a folder on first one. There you will find three notebooks. Open this one. Okay, open this one for now. You can view it from GitHub, but to run everything, you have to run everything. First download it. Okay, then open in Colab or Jupyter Notebook. In Colab, you can see to go to the file option. There is an upload notebook option. Okay. In Jupyter Notebook, you can just go to that folder where you have downloaded. You can go to the folder and open it from there. Okay. Now, everyone managed to open the notebook. Anyone, any problem? Since it is online, it is a problem with showing everything.
Sir,
So
it's
make sure
open.
you response very clearly. কারো কোনো problem? Anyone any problem?
No, sir. We have opened it.
Okay. আচ্ছা. Now, so let's just start with our Python. You should definitely open it in Jupyter because I will ask you to run different codes and you should run it. Okay, otherwise you will not be able to understand many of the things. Let's
Sir,
see.
Colab নাকি Jupyter? Which one?
Either one of them, anyone. This is or sign. Both
Oh,
will. You can use VS Code, whatever you prefer, doesn't matter. Acha, let's see. Now, when we talk about a programming language, we first have to understand the data structures. What does the data structures? How data is represented, stored, modified, okay, in a programming language. Now, the standard data structures are very similar, but a little bit different vary from program to program, programming language to language. So let's say in Python, in MATLAB, we have some data structures. The exactly same data structures are not available in Python, but there is something similar. How so? So if you are very well familiar with MATLAB, so in MATLAB we have different types of array. So let's say I want to store some IDs. Okay. How do you store some IDs? How do you store some IDs? We write it like this way: 101, 102, 104, like this way. These are IDs. So this is what we call an array. Okay. So what is an array? Array is nothing but a collection of items. Simply put, they are just a collection of items. Okay. So MATLAB array. Now, when it comes to MATLAB array, these are actually numeric array, which is also called matrix in MATLAB. Okay. So matrix is manipulated like this way. MATLAB provides another type of array. So if I write, let's say names is equals to, let's say John. So this is what becomes, what is this one? A character array. Okay. Let's say I write John 5. Okay. So this is a character array where each of them, this one is a character, This one is a character. This one is a character. What about 5? Is it a number or a character?
So it's a character.
Number.
It's a character. You see, as long as it is inside this one is defining that this is a numerical array. This sign, this single quote sign, this says that this is a character array. This 5 is not a number. This is a character. This character has a ASCII value. Okay. This character has a ASCII value. Every character has ASCII value. Similar to 5 also has ASCII value. Acha. This is different than the number 5. Number 5 means something different. Acha. If I write it in MATLAB, if I write it instead of writing in single quote, if I used double quote, let's say Sansa. Okay. If I use double quote, that will become a string array. So this is a character array. Double quote means a string array. What is the difference between character array and string array? Anyone?
Sir, I'm not sure, but it probably something like in a character array, you can iterate one by one character, but a string array is a complete. You cannot iterate one by one.
Yeah, it's right. So in character array, so string array is basically atomic. Atomic means like when I say 101, that means this is a single value 101. You cannot say 1 is a separate number, 0 is a separate number, 1 is a separate number. No. 101 is one number as a whole. Similarly, when I write string array, Sansa, this is a whole string as a whole. You cannot get S, A separately. They are atomic. Okay, so that's the difference in MATLAB, character array, string array. So there are other items as well. So if I write, say, for instance, now let's say I write John is 20, Arya is 12, Bran is 13. Okay, so here you see I have, let's say this is a string. I have a character array and a number. Character array number, string number. Okay, I can have both of these things. So if I do this, what does it becomes? This is called a cell array. You see this one, the curly braces actually represents a cell. So this is another type of array. The difference is numeric array can only store numbers, character array can only store characters, string can only store strings. Cell array can store all of them, okay, separately. So that's what is called a cell array. Acha. Now, so in MATLAB, we have these all 4 different types of arrays. Okay. There are others as well. We don't need to go that far. So these are different types of arrays in MATLAB. Okay, we can work with these things. When it comes to Python, Python does not really have so many different types. Python has only one that is called a list. What is a list? List is also an array. Okay, it is a collection of items, and it is similar to our cell array in MATLAB. Okay, this is similar to our cell array in MATLAB. So it's like, just like your cell array can store both number and characters, list can also store number and characters. Okay, so how do you create a list? You create a list like this way. Let's say A is equals to 101, 103, then IUT. Okay, so this is a list. In Python, we call it a list. Okay, it can store both numbers as well as characters. And the difference that we have a character array and a string array, does not exist in Python. Okay, in Python, single quote, double quote, both means the same thing. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No.
So what is a list?
It's just a data structure, like cell array. But there are others like tuple and dictionary, ওগুলো কি different কিছু
They are different data structures. আচ্ছা. So list is a data structure, the most common fundamental data structure in Python. Okay, that can store some items. Okay, number, characters, any of them. Not just that, they can also store another list as well. 101, 103, comma, I write here 201, 205. So this is a list of lists. Okay, this is a list of lists. It can hold another list inside as well. Okay, it goes like this. This is called a list. আচ্ছা। Now, we have seen the list. Let's see some of the things that we can do with the list. The first one is indexing. What does indexing means?
Position.
Position. So in MATLAB, we had indexing that is 1, 2, like this way. 1, 2, 3. So this is your 1, this is 2, this is 3. How many different types of indexing is available in MATLAB? How many? One is linear indexing, numerical value. The second was subscripts. We can index like 1,5, 2,3, মনে আছে? So that is another type of indexing. In matrix, you can handle like this way, row and column value. So that's called subscripts. And the third one is your logical indexing. Okay. So these are available in MATLAB. So in Python, we only have this one, linear indexing. Okay, that is the fundamental Python that we have. So only cover linear indexing. So if you check your notebook, the lab manual, here you will see there is an array created. A is equals to A1, 2, 3, IUT, okay, 2.3, comma Harry. Okay, go to your notebook. You will find after there, you will find there is a list. Okay, let me show it here. এই একটা থেকে আরেকটা ইয়া করতে হবে ভেজাল। So can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So if you have open it in Jupyter Notebook or Colab, both looks more or less the same. Acha. You see here there is a, when I click on here, this is called a text block. Okay, this is called a text block. This is called a code block. There are two types of blocks in Colab. Text block, code block. Text block is for just writing some information, just like I have written here. And code block is for your writing your code. So you see this one, this is a text block. You can actually, if you want to run, if you want to study Python much better, in much more detail, you should definitely take this course. Okay, Python 3 specialization. Very good course. Acha. Now, so let's see. This is a text block. I just want to inform this. Now to code block, if you want to run a code block, you see this play sign. Okay, you click on it. Then on the left side, you see it is currently empty. When you click on it, this will connect. And after it has been run, a number will appear here. So when the number appears, that means this cell has run. So you have to run it to store this value, to store this variable in the memory. Okay, you have to run a cell. If I don't run a cell, then it will not be stored in memory. So please run this cell and create an array like this. Okay. Then also you see anywhere, if you click just on the middle, you will see there will appear code and text. You can also add it from here. Click on any of the cell where you want to place. If I write code here, a new code block will appear. Okay, this is my new code block. Let's say I write something. AA is equals to 101, 103, then 201, 205, comma, let's give it Albus and name as well. I run it. I can run it also using Control plus Enter. Now you can see I have only run it. I cannot see the output. The 2 is appeared here. That means the cell has been run in the same sequence. You have to remember the sequence matters. Okay. After this one, after this comes. If I want to visualize it, I can write just before print A, or I can just write A. Okay. This will also show you the output like this. Okay. Output looks like this. Is it clear?
তাহলে স্যার প্রিন্ট দেওয়ার তো দরকার নাই নাকি, মানে
না, প্রিন্ট দেওয়ার দরকার নেই। প্রিন্ট দরকার আছে কখন? If I want multiple, if I want to show multiple, let's see here. I have written both of them. Then first I write A, then A. Okay. You will see it is going to show the last one only, not both. It will only show the last command. If I want to show both of them, then I need to write print A, print A. Now it will show both of them. Okay. If you want to show only one output from a single cell block, code block, then you don't have to use print. You only use print when you have many of them. Okay.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Also, if I want to add any text here, then I also have to add print, right? Like for example, A has this, তখন হয়তো আমার
Yes, you
extra
can,
bracket
you
দেয়।
see, you can write it like this way. If I want to get some information, write something like first element is this, I can access like this way. Achha. Everyone, please run the cells. Run the cells and see that it is working or not. Okay. Achha. If you are in Colab, you have to connect. If you are in Jupyter Notebook, you don't have to connect to the internet. Achha. Next you see when it comes to indexing. Now, so unlike MATLAB, the Python indexing starts from 0. Okay. So it's in C as well. So indexing starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if you write A of 0, see it is third bracket. In MATLAB, it was first bracket. So that is going to give you 1. If you write 0, 1, 2, 3, it is going to give you IUT. Okay. So Python indexing starts from 0. Remember that. This is one thing. Another thing is Python also supports negative indexing. So the last element is -1, then -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. It goes like this way in the reverse way. Okay. So Python also supports negative indexing. So everyone in Python, we have linear index. It starts from 0, also negative. So if I write A of -1, it is going to give me Harry. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Achha. So this is indexing. This is how indexing works. So if you check the notebook, again, I ask you to check the notebook, you will see some of the examples are already given. Now, definitely try to see the notebook. When you complete the class, definitely go through the notebook by yourself, at least once by yourself. Okay. I will not be able to cover everything here. So definitely go through the notebook from top to bottom. Many things are written there in detail. Okay. Acha. So A of positive indexing, okay, negative indexing, okay. আর কি ছিল? দাঁড়া দেখি।
Sir, if
হ্যাঁ,
you have only one input, then zero index and -1 index will give us the same output.
interesting thing. Let's see. It should give the same output. Let's see. Yeah, it should give it gives the same output. Acha. Now, so there are 5 elements, right? If I write A of 6, it is going to show you an error because there is the maximum index is 5. Okay. So it is going to show a error that index out of range, something like this. Okay. আচ্ছা সবাই রান করতে পারছেন যেটিতে সলভেল গুলো everyone
Yes,
run
sir.
the cells that you have in the notebook.
Yes, sir.
কার কোনো প্রবলেম? আচ্ছা, for this case, okay, so this is your 0, this is your 1, this whole list inside the list that becomes 2. There is no 2 item there, there is 1 item there from the perspective of B. So if you write B of 2, it is going to give you 201 and 205. It is going to this one. Okay. Now, if I want, let's say this one, the first one from backlist. So my code should be of 2, 0. Okay. This is like second level, second degree indexing. It does not go inside. You have two separate brackets. If you need third degree indexing, it gets 3 separate brackets, one after another. Okay, that's how it proceeds. আচ্ছা, usually অত লাগে না. Now let's so we have seen indexing. Now let's take a look at slicing. আচ্ছা, what does it mean by slicing? Let's say I want to slice a particular portion, these 3 elements. So I should start from there to there. So if I write a of 1:3, I should get this 2, 3 and IUT, right? I should get this one. But if you run this code, create a cell block and run this code and tell me what is the difference. Is it giving you this one or giving you something else?
তো আরেকবার একটু বলবেন?
Run this code, a of 1:3. Okay. And check the output. What does it gives you as output? Let me know. It is the same or something different.
So
The
different,
IoT
2
part
or 3
আসে না।
আসে। IoT part আসে না, yes.
Last portion আসতেছে না, তাই তো?
Yeah.
This is missing. Why it is missing? আচ্ছা. You see, remember from your HSC, we have seen this kind of brackets, মনে আছে?
Yes, sir.
So in MATLAB, it goes like this one. Okay. This is called upper bound exclusive, not inclusive, but exclusive. Always remember. That means the last one is not included. So when you write 1, 2, 3, 1:3, you are meaning 1 and 2, excluding the 3. Okay. So any kind of commands like this in Python actually always goes for upper bound exclusive. So you have 2, 3 IoT, you are getting only 2 and 3. Okay. So if you need all 3, you should write 1:4. Then it will give you 1, 2, and 3. Is it clear?
আচ্ছা স্যার, যদি মানে এরকম হয় যে লেটস সে এটার সেট ইন্ডেক্সিং ম্যাক্সিমাম 5 আর আমি যদি 5 নাম্বারটা ট্র্যাক করতে চাই তাহলে 1:6 লেখা লাগবে,
হ্যাঁ, 1:6.
কিন্তু 6 তো নাই।
সমস্যা নেই. Upper bound is exclusive. 6 is not considered.
ওকে
You're getting up to 5. If you write 7, then that's a mistake. Then it will give you out of range. But up to 6, it will give you that result. Any question? Is it clear? So Python works like upper bound exclusive. Okay. So similarly, this is the first thing. Also, you have some other indexing slicing operations. Like if I write 2:2 like this, it means 2 to end. This sign means is 2. This one means 2 to end, to the end of the list. So if you write all is to 3, what does it mean? Start to which index?
Start to 2.
2. Start to second. Okay. The third element, index 2. Okay. It goes like this way. Acha. Now, then, so it also goes like this if you want to go in the negative direction. So if I write -1:-4, then will it work? Check. Does it work or not?
It should work.
Of course, it should work. But does it work?
No, it doesn't work. Why?
কাজ করে?
আচ্ছা ওইটা আমি একটু ভুল করছি।
কাজ করতেছে?
না, এটা ফাঁকা একটা জিনিস দিচ্ছে।
স্যার -4 to -1 মনে হয় কাজ করবে।
Yes. You see, the direction, slicing direction is always in the forward direction. Okay. The default direction is always forward. So -1, -2, -3, -4. This is not the forward direction. So when you say -1 is to something, it always looks in the forward direction and it is not finding anything. Okay. So if you write instead a of -4 is to -1, then it will start here and go in this direction and finish where? At -2.
Minus 2.
Okay. So this is how it works. Now, if I want this to work as well, okay, so I have to flip the direction. I have to tell it that don't go forward, go backward, right?
Yeah.
So if I want to work, there is a way to say that, okay, don't go forward, go backward. So that is -1 is to -4 is to, there is a last step. I can say -1. Okay. When I say -1, the negative sign means opposite direction. 1 means the step or jump. Okay. So when I say -1, that means go in the opposite direction. Now the direction is flipped, go from -1 to the -4. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I write, let's say 1 is to 6, 3. What does it mean?
3 করে স্টেপ হচ্ছে স্যার।
So positive direction, but 3 step. So it will first take the index 1, then 4. আর কিছু দিবে? আর কিছু দিবে না। Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the jump step. Now instead, if I give it here, instead of +3, if I give -3, কাজ করবে?
-3, না।
No, because 1 to 6 means in this direction. If you say minus direction,
6 to
again,
1
from
to
1,
2.
এই direction আর কিছু নাই। আছে?
No.
So you have to be careful. So the last item in the slicing operation and shows you the jump size and the direction. You can control it this way. Okay. So if you check the
Sir.
notebook, you'll find there are different examples of slicing. You can check it by yourself.
স্যার
কারো
এই
কোনো
লাস্ট
problem?
এই লাস্ট এক্সাম্পলটা একটু স্যার একবার রিপিট করবেন।
আচ্ছা, last example হচ্ছে 1 to 6. Okay. If I say just +3, just 3, that means if I write, if I write a of 1 is to 6, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These 5 elements.
Yes, sir.
So if I write 1 is to 6 is to 2, it will give you a jump step of 2. So it will give you 1, then 3, then 5. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I give 3, it is going to give you 1 and 4,
Yes.
like this way. This is the jump step. Now, if I give you -3, so again, -3 means 1 থেকে কত? এইদিকে. Do I have anything in this direction? No.
Oh, no.
I am saying that 1 is to 6. So nothing in this direction, so it is not going to give you anything.
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so there goes our slicing. Acha. Now, sorry. Then comes to item assignment. So we have seen our A, the array. Let's say I want to change an item in the array. So I can write, let's say, A of 1 is equals to, let's say, Genie. So this one, just simple equal sign, that will just change the array A, change the list A. On the first element will be replaced, whatever you have, with this one. Very simple item assignment. Okay. But if you want to add something, see, remember we had maximum 5. If I said 6 equals to, let's say, Ron, this is not going to work because item assignment only works inside the list that you have already created. You
আমি কি
cannot
append
add
করতে
any
পারবো?
item to it, but modify some item inside it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, can I append a value like যদি dot append is করে?
That's another thing. ওটা একটু পরে আসতেছি. This is item assignment. You cannot change something outside the list. You cannot add something to the list using this way. You can only modify what is already in the list using this item assignment operation. Is it clear? So when you do this, the original A will change. Okay. So when the list object is changing, something like this, we'll see a term a little bit later. This is called mutable object. Okay, we'll remember this term for now. We'll see a little bit later. What does it mean? Mutable. Okay, so list changes. So that's why the list is called a mutable object. List is mutable. Achha. Any question? Okay. Now, achha. So, so far what we are talking about, you see, Python is what we call an object-oriented programming language. Okay. Python is an object-oriented programming language. If I try to say it very simple, so everything that we create in Python is an object. MATLAB was a functional programming. Okay, we used to write functions, everything based on functions, most of the things. Python is object-oriented. So that means whenever you create something, you create an instance of an object. So when I have created A previously, what we have created? We have created an instance of the object, list object. Okay. So previously, when you created list, we have actually created an instance of the object list. Okay. So if I create B is equals to, let's say, Harry like this, what we have created? We have created instance of a string object. Okay. So what does it matter? Why does it matter? See, anything we create is like object. Okay, fine. So what is an object? What is an object in programming? It is like this. An object has some properties, and there are some methods. For instance, let's say apple is an object. Okay. Now, if I buy some apples, okay, let's say I buy some apples, let's say one. I have bought one apple. Another person had bought, let's say another person had bought another apple. So let's say I term it as A1 and B1. So the apple I bought has some properties like color. Its color was green. Its weight was, let's say, 200 gram. B1 bought another apple. Its color was, let's say, red. The weight was, let's say, 250 gram. So these two are two different instances of the same object, apple. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So an object will have some properties. Any instance of the object will have the similar property. It can vary. Let's say color, the property has, but they will have a color. Any instance will have the property color, will have the property weight. Similarly, there are some methods. What you can do with the apple. Okay, what you can do, I can eat the apple. I can slice the apple. Okay, I can throw the apple at another. Right? So these are some of the things that you can do with the apple. Okay. So methods are like what you can do with the object or what you can do to the object. Something like this. Is it clear?
মানে যদি ক্ল্যারিফাই করছে অ্যাপেলের যে কালার বা ওয়েট এটা হচ্ছে প্রপার্টি, আর যদি এটাকে দিয়ে আমি কোনো একটা ফাংশনের কাজ করি লাইক অ্যাড মাইনাস,
Yes.
ওগুলো হচ্ছে মেথড।
Is the method. Something to do with it or do to it, that's the methods. Now, similarly, when I have created a list object will have some properties, right? When I create a string object, that will also have some properties. Similarly, a list object will have some methods that you can do with the list or do to the list. A string object will have some other methods that you can do with the list, do with the string object, do to the string object, but they will vary. How? So, for instance, when you have apple, that's fine. you have some, okay, you have some properties, you have some methods. Let's say another type of object. করা যায় jackfruit. Okay, it will have some property. It will have some property. The color is basically, it can be yellow or light yellow, things like that. It will have a weight, okay, blah blah blah, ইত্যাদি ইত্যাদি. Now you can eat it, you can slice it, okay. You can eat the কি বলে ওটাকে বিচিগুলা you can eat that one, but you cannot throw a jackfruit to another person's head. Okay, that's too heavy. So two different object does not mean they will have the same property. They will have different property, different methods. So the properties or the methods of list will vary from the methods of string. So they will change significantly. But all the instances of the object will share the same properties, will share the same types of methods. So when you create an object like this, I have created a list object. What is the property? Let's say one of the properties is the length. What is the length of the array? So there are 6 items. So length is 6. So this is like one. Also, what you can do with the list object. Okay. Another property is like, for instance, if you write 2,5, if you use a plus sign, 3,7, this will give you something like this, 2537. You can join two lists using this plus sign. Okay. So this is a property, defined property, that you can join two lists together like this way. Okay. You cannot do it other objects. Okay, so net চলে আসলো. Are you guys there?
Sir.
Okay, so when I create, let's say for instance, a list object, okay, you have some methods. What are the methods available? To see the methods, use like run this. You see directory of A. If I run this one, okay, you will see all the methods available. Now first you see these are like double underscore. You ignore these parts for now. Okay, these are the properties. Don't have to worry about these ones. Underscore গুলো লাগবে না. আচ্ছা, you will find length there. You see somewhere in the length, I see one property was length. You see this one. So this is one of the property. So these are the properties of the list object. Okay, these are defined somewhere in the class. You don't have to worry about it. The methods that you are more interested in, these are the methods. Okay, these are the methods without the double score. These are the things that you can do with the list object. Okay, with the list object. So how does these methods work? Let's see. আচ্ছা, so you have the list object A. If I want to call on a method, okay, first you place a dot sign. Remember these things. When I want to call on a method on an object, I write the object name, then a dot sign, then the method name. The first method name was append, so I write append. Then I have to write a parenthesis. Okay, always. So first the object, then a dot sign, then the method name. Okay, then parenthesis. Always you have to have a parenthesis there. If you don't write parenthesis, the method is not called. Okay, to call on a method on an object, you have to write like this. But if you write it, this is going to show you an error. The error is, it says that there has to be something here. Why? Because it is saying, this method is saying, I want to append something append something in that array, in that object. What do you want to append? It should be inside. So if I write here John, then John will be append in the array A, and the A will change. Okay, I have not used any equal sign. See, I have just called on the method. Okay, and whatever I write here is going to be appended to the object A. So if I write A dot append, Alhamdulillah, Ron. Okay, then Ron will be appended to that array, to the list A. It works like this way. Is it clear how to call on a method? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Now, not all method will require you to add something there. So there is a method you will see a dot count. Acha. So here count means count the frequency of an item in the array. So if I write count Harry, this is going to count how many times Harry appeared in array A, in the list A. This is not going to change the list. This is going to change the list. A is going to be changed, but here it is just going to count how many times something appeared. Okay. Is it clear?
হ্যাঁ স্ট্রাকচারটাই তো সেম জাস্ট মেথড ওয়াইজ হচ্ছে ভ্যারি করতেছে রাইট
হ্যাঁ,
মানে
ভেতর ওয়াইজ জাস্ট ভ্যারি করতেছে। আচ্ছা, নাও লেটস সে there is another one called reverse. If I write a dot reverse, now the reverse does not need any item inside. You just have to keep it empty. This is going to flip the array. Change it as well. Flip the array and change it. So when you don't put anything, just you have to just have an empty parenthesis, but it has to be there. Is it clear? Any question?
নো
Any question?
নো
So there are around, I think, 12 methods there you will find in the notebook, okay, in the directory list. There are some, like one is extend, okay, another one is index. See, you will find it. So you can search it in the Google that what does they actually mean. Extend, index, another one is insert. Okay, try to run these three and see what each one actually do. What is the part, what is the function of each one of them? Try to understand these things by yourself. Give me 2 minutes break. আমি আসতেছি. Try to finish this by yourself now. আমি আসে জিজ্ঞাসা করতেছি। সো পাওয়া গেছে ওটার কি কাজ?
Yes, sir.
ইয়েস।
Yes, sir.
So what is the function of extend?
Sir, extend, sir, মানে লাস্টে এলিমেন্ট যোগ করে দেয়।
Yes, it can add some other elements,
Yes.
multiple elements using extend. What about index?
ইন্ডেক্স
এটা যে স্যার কোনো একটা পার্টিকুলার পয়েন্টে যদি বসাইতে চাই ওইটা বসায় দিতে
Yes,
পারবো
I can insert something in the index. Does it delete the item in that index?
নো স্যার it just মানে
No.
ওই মানে ওই স্পেসটাতে বসায় আর
Not
ওইগুলোকে
delete.
এক্সটেন্ড করে নেয়
It just shifts them. It places some new item in the index and shifts the other items towards the right. What about insert? No, sorry, ভুল বললাম, insert.
ইনসার্ট, স্যার,
Index হচ্ছে just the position of an item.
পজিশন।
Okay, so these are the the methods that are available to you. Acha, any questions so far?
নো স্যার
Acha. So we
স্যার,
have seen, huh?
এক্সটেন্ড আর অ্যাপেন্ডের মধ্যে ডিফারেন্সটা কি এরকম? মানে এক্সটেন্ড আমাদের মানে পুরো একটা লিস্টের মধ্যেই সবকিছু অ্যাড করে দেয়, আর অ্যাপেন্ড যদি
Only
আমরা
one.
মাল্টিপল কিছু অ্যাড করতে চাই তখন এটা আরেকটা ব্র্যাকেট দিয়ে অ্যাড করে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, append হচ্ছে only one করে অ্যাড করে এরকম। Have to check.
আচ্ছা এক্সটেন্ড দিয়ে লিস্টও অ্যাড করা যায় ডাইরেক্ট মানে
হ্যাঁ, extend দিয়ে তুমি অনেক কিছু অ্যাড করতে পারবে। You can add many things using extend. Append is I think only for single item. Works like this way. You can just search the Google. Okay, these are very basic things. Acha. So we have seen one data structure, Pythons, that is called the list. Okay. And we have seen some other operations. Operations are like indexing, okay, and then slicing, then item assignment, then what is an object, and then হচ্ছে methods. Okay. These are very common. These are common to any other data structure we are going to see after this one. Okay. The next one that we are going to see is called a tuple. Okay. So what is a tuple? I can create a tuple like this. If I just write, let's say A is equals to tuple of A. It is going to convert this A into a tuple. Okay. So what is the difference if you write this one? Check the difference.
স্যার টুপল হচ্ছে মানে চেঞ্জ করা যায় না
What is the difference between A and Damole? এই দুটার মধ্যে ডিফারেন্সটা কি আছে?
ও আচ্ছা
So tuple is immutable.
আচ্ছা স্যার আমার আপনার কোশ্চেনটা ঠিক ক্লিয়ার না মানে ক্যান ইউ শো ইট ইন দ্য কোড অর সামথিং মানে এটা দিয়ে কি করব
A is represented by third bracket. When you convert it into a tuple, everything is same, but inside a parenthesis, first bracket. That's the difference.
ও আচ্ছা
Is it clear? I'm not asking any specific, just how they actually look visual, how they actually look different. Acha. So when you convert a list to a tuple, they are actually basically the same thing, but one is list is using third bracket, tuple is represented using first bracket. Acha. The difference is, this is the appearance, difference in appearance. You can also create a tuple like this. Let's say BB is equals to, we have Jack, Snyder, okay, BVS. So this is like this. Acha. Now, when you want to create a tuple, you use first bracket. You want to create a list, you use third bracket. It works like this way. Acha. Now, what is the difference between these two? You see, previously we talked about something mutable object. When you do something using list, it changes. But tuple is something is immutable. Immutable means you cannot actually modify the tuple. You cannot change tuple once it has been created. Once you create this BB, there is this tuple, you cannot change it in any way. Okay. Other properties like indexing, again, this is the same. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2. You write BB of 0, third bracket, BB of 0, it is going to give you same things. So indexing works the same way, slicing works the same way. What it does not work is item assignment. Item assignment, it does not work because if I write BB of 0 is equals to, let's say, gun, That is never going to happen. Okay. It does not support item assignment. You cannot modify a tuple. You can modify a list, but not a tuple. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes,
এটা
sir.
এটা ক্লিয়ার, বাট একটা কোশ্চেন থাকে, তাহলে why just don't we use set to begin with, like
একটু
আমি
জোরে
just
বোঝা যায়নি, আরেকবার বলো।
তাহলে মানে যদি আমি চেঞ্জ না করতে পারি, তাহলে এটার চেয়ে লিস্টটাই বেটার না, মানে জাস্ট
আমি
সব
আসতেছি, ওখানে আসতেছি, ডিফারেন্সটা কেন আসতেছে সেটা বলতেছি। So if I go, let's say here, so these are the list tuple. So if you look at the methods, okay, so I have created this, and if you look at the methods that are available to the tuple, you see how many? Only two, right? Count and index. Counts gives you the frequency of element in the tuple. Index is the index. Is there any other methods that changes the tuple, just like you have seen in the list? আছে?
নো
No. So even the methods that were available to the tuple object, there is no methods that can actually change it. So that's the thing. You cannot change the tuple. That's the difference. So why does it matter? Why does it matter to us? Let's see. You see, when we create a list, you create, let's say, something in the memory. You assign a memory location, memory space towards this for a list. Okay, this is for a list. But when you do that, you have to keep the flexibility that the memory requirement, think of it like, let's say, 10 kilobyte. Okay. The memory requirement can change at any time. It can become 8 kilobyte. It can become 20 kilobyte by modification. When you modify it, list can change. There can be 100,000 item there. So the list memory, the memory allocation has to be like this way that the memory space can change. It has to be dynamic. Is it clear? But when it comes to a tuple, you see, once you create this memory space, there is no changing it. It is always going to remain the same. So you don't have to have the flexibility that the memory is going to differ or change with time. No, it is going to remain fixed. So if it is created as 10 kilobyte, it is always going to hold 10 kilobyte space. You don't need to change it anytime. So what is the value of this one? You see, if you have some operations, when you have, let's say, 10 million items, 1, 2 items doesn't matter. When you have 10 million items inside a list, now that's a huge amount of data. Now, storing some data with this flexibility that the memory space can change, that is going to be a lot of memory requirement. But if the data does not change anytime, so if you put it inside a tuple, what will happen? This is much more efficient. Efficient because you don't have to keep this flexibility. Okay. আমার কথা বোঝা যাচ্ছে? So
Yes, sir.
when you're writing your code, if something is like you don't have to change it ever, কখনোই চেঞ্জ করতে হবে না, then it should by default, you will see in later that by default it is created inside a tuple. And if you have to create something like this, create it in a tuple, that will be much more efficient, memory efficient. Is it clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Now, if you ask a question like, what if I need to change something? What do? You convert the tuple into a list,
At least,
then
yeah.
modify it, then convert it back to a tuple. Very simple. Okay. Is it clear?
ওকে স্যার, ওই যে মানে এ ইকুয়ালস টু টুপল এ, তার মানে হচ্ছে কি এটাকে, এ যে লিস্টটা ছিল এটাকে আমরা এ নামে একটা টুপল বানাচ্ছি, রাইট?
Yes.
ওকে
Now this is a new object. This is a different object. A is a different object. It has a different properties, different methods. A is a different object with different properties and methods. Okay.
বাট এখানে একটা কোশ্চেন আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে যে দেন এ অ্যাজ এ লিস্ট এক্সিস্ট করতেছে প্লাস এ অ্যাজ এ টুপল এক্সিস্ট করতেছে, রাইট? মানে দুইটাই কি এক্সিস্ট করতেছে সাইমালটেনিয়াসলি?
বুঝি না, আরেকবার বলো।
মানে ধরেন আমার হচ্ছে এ আগে, লেটস সে এ আগে টাপল ছিল, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ।
এরপর আমি চেঞ্জ করার জন্য লিস্ট করে এখন আবার টাপল করতে যাচ্ছি, রাইট? মানে এটা
হ্যাঁ।
কেস, হ্যাঁ। তো এখন এ কে যদি আমি এ টাপল করি, তাহলে কি এ অ্যাজ এ লিস্ট এটাও আছে, আবার এ অ্যাজ এ টাপল দুইটাই আছে? মানে দুইটা জিনিস কি একসাথে আছে?
Let's say I have যেটা যেটা বুঝলাম তোমার কথা থেকে, let's say তোমার কাছে একটা টুপল আছে, নেমড হচ্ছে বিবি। ওকে, now you want to change it, so it has been assigned this variable name,
হুম
so that means it has assigned a memory. If I want to convert it into a list now, you have to
Right.
assign it in a different list of BB. Now it is converted into a list. Now it is
Right.
assigned a different memory or different variable C.
Yes.
Okay. When you write like this, you have to assign something, otherwise it is not going to automatically change it. You have to assign it to somewhere else. If you assign it into a BB as well, BB is equals to list of BB. Now BB only holds the list, not the tuple.
Oh, acha.
Okay.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
So this is your tuple. Fine, we don't have much. We have only two methods, index and count. Acha. Now let's count. Let's come to the third one. String. String is just like, let's say, if I create something like x equals to we are Legion. Okay. Now you write fast code, sorry, single quote, double quote, doesn't matter, the same thing. Now when it comes to string, again, the indexing just as the same. Okay. This is not like MATLAB's string. It is like MATLAB, somewhat like MATLAB's character array, somewhat like MATLAB's array, because you can access this one. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. X of 0 will give you like this. So x of 0, not first bracket. X of -1 give you the last element. It work like this. This is the indexing term. Fine. Now, once you are done with indexing, so what about item assignment? Item assignment, does it work? No. String does not support item assignment as well. So if I write x of 1 is equals to I, it will not work. Okay. So item assignment is not supported. When item assignment is not supported, what do you call it?
Tuple.
You call it immutable.
Immutable.
Oh, acha.
This is another immutable object. Okay. Just like tuple, string is also immutable. You cannot change it. Once you create, it is going to stay the same. Okay. So you can access those things, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you check, let's see. লাস্টটা বলতে ভুলে গেছি, আচ্ছা একটু পরে বলতেছি। So strings like this, you can check the first element, last element, ইত্যাদি ইত্যাদি ইত্যাদি. Now, if you check the methods that are available to this object that you have, so see, there are, after this one, there are so many methods available, almost 30. Okay, very simple. These methods does not change the string. You create a function. For instance, you have is lower. Is lower means it checks whether the string is lowercase or not. Okay. If you write upper, it convert the string into uppercase. Okay. It works like this way. So if I run it, so go to your string section, and run the string, the first one, s is equals to this, run it. করছো? Call on the method upper, run this cell as well, call on the method upper, and it is showing you this one, but check whether s has changed or not.
No,
Create a
sir.
new cell and check whether s has changed or not.
is didn't change.
Change হয়েছে?
না স্যার, এখানে একটা এরর দেখাচ্ছে কেন?
No, তুমি রান করনি। First you have to run the s1.
ওটা না, আমার হচ্ছে s2 equals to omega তে এরর দেখাচ্ছে, কারণ এটা মেবি টাইপ এরর। আচ্ছা, এটা মিলে নাই। এটা i10 অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট হচ্ছে না বলে এরকম কিছু?
So if you see this one, now you have this s. Okay, I run this one. So s is like this. Welcome to Machine Learning Lab. Last character. These are the directories. I have not run it. লাগবে না, ঠিক আছে? Now this was our s. I call on this method upper. So when I call on this method, you can see it becomes like this. Welcome to, everything is now uppercase. But if I check the original s, you see it is remaining the same. Previously, when you call on a method on a list, the list changed. But when you are calling on this method on the string is not changing. The original string remains the same. This is because your list object is mutable. When you slice the object apple is changed. But string object is immutable. When you call on a method, it does not change. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So there are other methods. For instance, there are many, you can try by yourself when you at home. Let's say there is a method called split. If I call on this method, it will split the string on the white space characters. Okay, so we'll come to this is this. I can also, let's say s.split. I can also define s.split, let's say divide at O. It is going to split the string at the positions of O. It works like this way. Any question?
No,
Clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
So you have seen another data type that's called string. Definitely, আবার বলতেছি, when you are done with this one, after doing today's lab, definitely when you go at home, sitting at your home, definitely go through the lab manual top to bottom. There are many other things inside written clearly. Okay, for you. So go through that lab manual clearly. There are many other things you should definitely try to understand and practice by yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to learn Python. If you don't learn Python, this is going to be a devastating course for you. Acha. So we have seen a string. Now,
Sir,
so
can we take a 5-minute break? মানে আসরের নামাজটা
yeah,
পড়ে
of
ফেলবো
course.
যদি।
Give me a little bit. I am going to finish a little bit later, then 5-minute breaks.
Okay, sure.
Acha. Now, so we have seen three different types of data types so far. One is our list, one is tuple, and another one is a string. The last one is called a dictionary. Okay, the last one is a dictionary. These are the basic data structure, data type that are available. Acha. So these are very simple. Later in the next class, we'll see much more efficient data structures. So what is a dictionary? You see, let's say, if I have something like this, ID 201, 202, 205, then let's say CGPA, this is your ID, this is your CGPA. The CGPA is, let's say, 3.7, 3.2, 2.5. Okay. Now, there is no way to connect this information. Acha, let's also see then name. Okay, let's say his name is John, this name is Bruce, this name is Flash and নাম কি? Flash. Acha. Now, so you see there is no way to connect this. Connect means connect this one with this one. You are assuming that the first one represents the CGP of this one, but there is no way to connect this information. Okay, there is no way to connect this information. Okay, that is one of the limitation because they are independent instances of the object, list object. Acha. So there is no way to represent the relation. To represent the relation, there are two ways. One is using zip, another using dictionary. Zipping is like this. You can create a zip of like this way. So if I create a zip of like, let's say, students, a zip object will look like this. 201, 3.7, John. Then comma, 202, 3.2, Bruce. Comma, dot, dot, dot. Okay. So zip object, let's say list, I'm showing it as a list. So zip object will look like this. Okay. You have all the three in a bracket, inside a bracket, like inside a tuple, first bracket. So now it says that, okay, the 201 is the ID, CGP is this, John is this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. এটা তো
No.
zip, right? No, this is
Yeah, it is zip. There is another lab manual on zip. You will see later. But again, you
Sir,
see,
এটা
there is nothing mentioned that what does this 3.7 represent? What does this represent? You have not mentioned it anywhere. You are just assuming that I'll automatically understand. So this is one of the limitations. Zip can zip multiple elements together, but it does not convey the information what those elements represents. To avoid this, to get through this, you can create something that's called student, a dictionary. So let's say I create a dictionary. You create a dictionary using a curly braces. Okay. In the curly braces, first I write something called a key value pair, just like your normal dictionary. What is the key? Let's say the student ID. What is the ID? 201. Then I put a comma. Then CGPA 3.7. Name John. Okay. Then I close this one. So this is now a dictionary of student 1. So now it contains the key value, that is what this key 1 and the value. Now you can see 201 means the ID, 37 means the CGPA. You can mention what every item means using a dictionary. So you have one dictionary, then you can create another dictionary. Same. ID is equals to 202, CG is this, this is like this way. Now this might looks a little bit like uh, tiresome, like too many things to write again and again. So there is a much more efficient than dictionary. Dictionary is directly related to a data frame. Okay, that's much more efficient. We'll talk about data frame in the next class. So for now, dictionary is enough. Is it clear? What is a dictionary? How it is represented?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Any
what
question?
if what if I have multiple students? Then can I incorporate multiple students inside a single dictionary? মানে নেম
So
বাট আরেকজনের নেম ধরেন
you
ব্রুস
can actually create like this way, 201, 202, 203, like this way, definitely. 3.7, 3.9, obviously like this. You can add multiple way. Then ID means all these elements, CG means all these elements. Then you can actually, in a single dictionary, you can represent everything. It
কিন্তু
can
তখন
be
তো
the
আমি
value.
বলতে পারবো যে সেকেন্ড স্টুডেন্টের সিজি 3.9।
You have to say that it is in the sequential order. You have to just assume it them.
ও আচ্ছা,
Okay. But you are mentioning that keys are like this. You are mentioning the keys. Previously, it was not mentioned. Now you are mentioning this. And what does those values represent? Okay.
ইয়েস স্যার।
So now, when it comes to dictionary, the indexing is a little bit different. Okay. So far, we have seen the indexing was always numerical. But in dictionary, there is no numerical indexing. So if I write ST1 of 0, it will not give you anything. So indexing is through keys. So I have to write ST1 of ID using the keys. Okay. Then you can get the values. So ID, if you write this is going to give you, let's say 205 ID value. Clear? Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Acha. So dictionary is created like this way. Indexing is this. And if you check some of the methods, you will see there are two or three methods. I have already given you some example. Check it by yourself. You can check it by yourself. Acha. So these are the 4 basic fundamental data types. Okay. We have seen so far. We have seen a list, tuple, string, and dictionary. Now these are not actually enough to do all the things that we want to do. Okay. We need much more efficient, many other things. So to do that, Python actually provide different libraries. There are other libraries that can support a wide variety of applications. We have talked about it in the first class. Some of the libraries, one is called NumPy. The NumPy library provides something called a NumPy array. NumPy array is much more efficient than the list. Okay. So whenever we are working in machine learning, we'll mostly use NumPy array. Similar to list, but much more efficient. Okay. It's just like your MATLAB array. Then you have something called a data frame. The data frame comes from Pandas data frame, the Pandas library. So this is like a table. It's a much better representation of dictionary. Dictionary can get a little bit bulky. Data frame is much more efficient. Okay. So there are other libraries that supports other data structures that make these tasks much more convenient. But these are the basic ones. These ones are built on top of this one. Okay, so we have to understand these ones to understand these things. So in the next class, before you start these two, first you have to learn these things very clearly. Okay, so before coming to the next lab, definitely study these things. Then come to this one. Is it clear?
স্যার
Any question?
দিস থিংস বলতে কি আরেকবার একটু বলবেন?
NumPy আর
কোনটা?
মানে স্যার আপনি বললেন নেক্সট ক্লাসের আগে এইগুলা পড়তে হবে স্যার,
এই
আমি
যে এগুলা নেক্সট ক্লাসে যেগুলো পড়ালাম এগুলো অবশ্যই পড়ে আসবা, অবশ্যই পড়বা।
ওকে ওকে স্যার।
বিফোর উই গো টু দিস ওয়ান ইউ হ্যাভ টু লার্ন দিস ওয়ান ফার্স্ট। ইজ ইট ওকে?
ওকে স্যার।
আচ্ছা, now before we go to the second part, okay, you will find in the second part is conditionals and loops. Okay, we'll start this one. Before you go there, you will see in the first lab manual, you will see one issue that is called, আমি দেখাচ্ছি এখানে। Before dictionary or strings, okay, this one, alias, okay, study this one, okay. If you are going to a break for namas, you can go. Those who are remaining here, just look at this one, alias problem. We'll start after 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, 5 minutes break.
So we can start now, I guess. Hello.
স্যার মনে হয় নাই, ওয়েট কর।
Okay, so check the allies problem by yourself. It is very nicely explained here. নাকি explain করি নাই? আচ্ছা, let's see. Before we go there. So these are different. Can you see the screen? These are different
sir.
libraries, okay, for different purposes. Okay, we'll study some of them in the next class, and how to import libraries. Okay, we'll need it in the next lab, not for now. So let's see the alias problem. Acha. Now, alias. Acha. See, let's say, let me give you some example. If I write A is equals to Harry, and then Aegon, then Damon, data. We have created a list. In the next line, I write B is equals to A. Fine. So what is going to happen to the B? B is going to be exactly same. Fine. Now I run a method on A. I call on a method called append. A.append. Okay. What do we want to append? Let's say Aegon Amon. Okay. So when I call it, what becomes to the A? A now becomes Harry, Aegon, Damon, and Amy. Now A has 4 items. Now what happens to B? B remains the same or B changes?
B remains the same.
It remains the
Uh,
same.
B will becomes this. Okay. B will not remain the same, although we have not even touched B after that one. After this line, we have not done anything. We just changed A. B will also be changed. B will be exactly replica of A. Is it clear? The
Yes,
question
sir.
is why? This problem is called alias. Why it happens?
Same memory location.
Okay, so when I have created A memory space, okay, is allocated to A. Whenever I write B is equals to A, the same memory space, the same memory location is allocated to B as well. So whenever you change something A, this memory space is hot. Now updated. Now B holds the same direction, same distance, sorry, same location. So B is also changed. Is it clear? If I
sir,
write
এখানে
Yes,
একটা
sir.
question
B
আছে
dot
স্যার।
append, একটু দাঁড়াও. If I write B dot append, then just let's say add addition there. Now B changes. What about A? A will change or remain the same? চেঞ্জ হবে না, সেম থাকবে?
A সেম থাকবে।
এও চেঞ্জ হয়ে যাবে। See the memory location. Both A and B is holding the same memory location. So anything you change, if you changed A, B will also change. If you change B, A will also change because both of them are in the same memory location. You are updating the memory location. Whatever in the memory location is getting changed. So whatever is in the memory location changed, so A and B is going to hold the same value. Is it clear? বোঝা গেছে আমার কথা?
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes,
question?
sir.
So this is called alias problem. So you can ask how to avoid this one. What if I need to create a copy? Acha, in that case, you just write, you see in the list, you will find a function that's called copy. X equals to a dot copy. When you do this, it creates something called a shallow copy. Then If A changed, X will not change because they are now in two different memory location. Okay, so this is a shallow copy. When you do this line, assignment of a direct equal sign, it creates a deep copy. Okay, so if you want to avoid this alias problem, what you have to create is create a shallow copy. Then no problem. Clear? Any question? আচ্ছা,
স্যার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন স্যার, why is this a problem?
problem means, let's say you created B for some, let's say you are writing a code of 100 lines. Somewhere you needed a copy of A of that moment. Then you change A, but you wanted that version of A, previous version. But after you change the A is changed, you are not holding that version again because B is also changed. If you want to hold a previous version of a list, then you have to save it as a shallow copy. You might need it in the code. ঠিক আছে?
ও আচ্ছা, মানে আমার যদি জাস্ট ওই ইনস্ট্যান্টের এ লাগে চেঞ্জ
হ্যাঁ,
হওয়ার আগে, তাহলে আমি ওটা
তাহলে
আচ্ছা
তুমি এটা কি লাগবে?
ওকে
আচ্ছা,
স্যার।
now let's come to conditionals. This is very simple. You already know these things. I'm just showing you how it can be done in Python. You know how to write if-else condition in MATLAB. So in Python, you write like this: if A is, let's say, greater than 10. So this has to be a conditional statement. Okay, this is the conditional statement that will give you either yes or no, things like that. And it has to be end with a colon. If this is true, then run this line, whatever you run here. Say you do anything like this, A multiple by 500. Okay, do whatever you like. Okay, so this has to be with a indentation. Okay, you see indentation one, automatically এটা চলে আসবে. So this is how you call a if-else condition. So if this is true, run this. If this is not true, then go to the next line, else if. আচ্ছা, else if is represented as elif. Okay, elif, else if, short elif. So if A is less than 5, run this. Okay, so this is another condition. If this is true, then run this. If does not hold, if it is false, then go to the next elif. What is the next elif? If A is greater than 5 and or. Okay, so how do you create two condition? You can also compile or merge two condition together. Okay, you can compile merge. So it can be done using and command or command. Okay, so and or, let's say and is greater than 5 and A is greater than 8. If this is true, then run this. Okay, if none of the previous one is true, else colon run this. In else there is no condition and finish at that. There is no end like in MATLAB. So which one is going to be run based on this? কোনটা রান হবে?
স্যার বুঝি নাই, মানে এর ভ্যালু কি 9?
হ্যাঁ, এর ভ্যালু ইজ 9.
ও স্যার এলস রান হবে I guess.
Yes, because none of the previous conditions are true. So the last one will run. Okay, very simple. Is this condition? There is one example given in the notebook. You can definitely check it. Any question?
No, sir.
Acha. Now let's finish these things. For loop. Okay. Now you are familiar with MATLAB. In MATLAB, you used to write for loop like this way. For I is equals to 1:5, A of I is equals to this, end. Okay. এটা ছিল MATLAB version. আচ্ছা. In Python, it's a little bit different. আচ্ছা. Let's say I have this list like this. Aegon, Amon, Damon. Okay, I have a list. Now, if I want to run through this list and extract the first element from each of the items, acha, I have to run a for loop. Okay, for then instead of using numbers, the basic way, the most common way is directly accessing the X, the list object. You can directly access. So if I write for I in X, here I actually represents the iterator variable. Iterator variable. In means in where X list. So if I write for I in X, okay, do something. What do you do? Print with indentation. Print. Ki print korbe? I of 0. I now holds iterator variable. So I holds with each iteration in iteration 1. In iteration 1, first iteration, I also auto, I is equals to what? Aegon. So when you run this command, the first iteration, what it's going to say? It is going to print A. In the second iteration, I is now holding Amon. Again, it is going to print A. Again, it is going to print A. Last, it's going to print 3. So it holds like this. The iteration variable holds the element directly. You are not accessing the elements based on number, but directly the elements, okay, through this. Is it clear? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
So for loop in Python, this is the most common way of using it. If say you want to use numbers, for some reason you want to use numbers, this is much more flexible. Okay, directly accessing using for loop is much more flexible. If you want to use numbers to do it, you can do it as well. There is a function called range. If I create range 5, it is going to create a range object 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 আসবে?
Yes.
না স্যার
5 আসবে না, because always upper bound exclusive. So it is going to hold. Now write like this way. For I in range of 5, if I write like this, so I is going to hold this value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So print, কি করব? print কত? X. XS I এর কোনটা? 0. Now it is going to print the same thing. Okay. X of I means it is going to say X of 0 of 0, then X of 1 of 0, then X of 2 of 0. If every iteration, it is just going to proceed. Is it clear? Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
So if you check this one, so there are some examples. Check by this. Okay, this side. Okay, this is the modulo operation. Okay, you can check it. One example, definitely check it. Then loops. Okay, how do you do? You can do a nested loop range. Then examples. Check the examples. Okay, you want to, let's say from this list, you want to create 2 different lists with even numbers and odd numbers. How to do that? One example. Then Fibonacci sequence. You have done it in MATLAB. So create a Fibonacci sequence like this way. Similarly, there is a while loop. Okay, the same approach. While this, do this. Okay, and similarly exactly the same. Any question up to now?
No, sir.
Acha. So this is included. Up to this one, everything is included in your syllabus. Python class, this is optional. You don't have to. There will be no question from Python class. Okay, if you want to understand properly what is a class, that's the basics of object-oriented programming. I have written some described it here. You can study it. I think it will be clear, much more clear what is a class, how to create a class, blah blah blah. But this is optional. Okay, this will not be included. So Python class, inheritance, anything after that, this is optional. Clear?
স্যার মানে অ্যালগরিদমের জন্য তো ক্লাস বা এগুলো ইউজ করা হয়, সো ওই ক্ষেত্রে আর কি মানে
না, লাগবে না, ক্লাস লাগবে না। আমাদের যে কাজ দরকার সেখানে পাইথন ক্লাস লাগবে না। Anything else? Any other question? আচ্ছা,
No, sir.
so from the first one, everything is included. The second one, except the class, after this one. Okay. There is a third one, 1.3 Python operations. The Python operations is, there are 4 operations given. We sometimes need these things, so you just have to study the first 2 for now. Okay. It is properly described here. The first one is zip. I already said what is a zip. Okay. So zip is creating, let's say, merging these 2. I can merge these 2 using this. So this is what a zip looks like. Very simple. This is one thing. And how to zip something, how to unzip something, it is given there. Another one is a lambda function. Achha. So before we go there, so these two, a study from this, it is also described here. The last thing I want to discuss is the functions. Let's see. We have written a lot of functions in MATLAB. Most of the things we used to call by functions. Now, in MATLAB, the function used to be write like this. Function, then output variable is equals to function name, then input, something, something, then the body, then the end. This was how you have written in MATLAB, if you remember. In Python, it starts with definition. Okay. Instead of calling it function, you call it by definition. Then you call the function name. You give it a name, not f name. You give it a name, function name. Then your input variables, whatever the input variable is. Then you write something like this way, the body, whatever you want to do with it. Then you say return. Then in the return, you give the output variable, whatever the output variable is. So let's say definition multi x. I give the function name multi x. Input variables, let's set, sorry, not numbers, variables. So let's say x comma y. Okay, then a colon. What does it do? Let's say out is equals to 2 times x plus 3 times y and return out. Okay, so what is the function name? Multi x. What are the input variables? X and y, 2 input variables. What does it do? It returns this. What does it return? 2 times x and 3 times y. So if I call the method, call this one like this way, multi x of 5, 6, what is going to be the output? You have output?
28
Yes,
28.
28. Okay, very simple structure, nothing to be worried about. It is described very clearly. You just have to practice writing it. You have to practice a few times. You have to create a few functions. It will be very clear. You give it a function a name. Whatever the input variable is, these are the input variables. You define inside the function, you define it as local variables. Okay. If you have done MATLAB properly, so it should be very clear. Then whatever the relation you have, you run it inside, and the output variable, you write it in the the return statement. So definition is connected to return. So this is the basic function. A short version of this one is called a lambda function. Okay. We sometimes need it in some operations. Lambda function is like writing a function in one line. Okay. So let's say if I write y is equals to lambda x is to x plus 100. Okay. So this means the lambda function says that lambda is a function. Whatever the input is, the output, this is the input, this is the output. You cannot write long functions like this way, just a small functions, one line code. So if I write y of 10, what it is going to be the output? Output কত হবে? 110. So y of 10 means whatever this x is, that is the 10. What do you do with the input? Add 100 with it. So this is like this. Let me give you another one. Z is equals to lambda. It doesn't have to be a, it can be anything. S is equals to upper of x. Remember upper function? Sorry, s dot upper. The output should be s dot upper. আমরা ইউজ করছিলাম স্ট্রিং এর ক্ষেত্রে. So if I call, let's say z comma error. Okay, if I call this, what is going to be the output? It is going to be
uppercase.
so this is your s. The output is the upper version of this. You run this method on this one. So like this way, you can write very simple function using this lambda function. Is it clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Achha, there are 2 or 3 examples given in the lab manual. Definitely check those things. One of them is based on sort, how to sort a function. Okay, definitely see this one. Okay, so this is up to your first lab. We have seen some of the very basic data structures, 4 different data structures: list, tuple, then dictionary, and string. And we have seen some other terms, many other terms, and 3 operations: how to write a conditional, for loop, and function. Okay, then lambda function and zip. Okay, many other things. So definitely, to understand these things properly, you should definitely try this by yourselves. Practice this by yourself at your home. Otherwise, you will forget. Okay. Any question so far? If no question, please write your student ID in the chat box.
So is the lab over, right?
Yes, you can leave. If you have written the ID, you can leave.